against Dundee United with Paddy Bonner, Alan Preston and Rob McLean.
Cheers, Liam. Celtic well on their way to a 13th title in the last 14 seasons, and by the time we're finished tonight they could be almost as many points in front as there are games to go. That's how much their domestic domination continues. It is the second meeting of these two teams in the space of 17 days after Dundee United managed to hold out for a goalless draw at Tannadice. The last time Brendan Rodgers and Jim Goodwin went head-to-head, and I guess at the halfway stage of the season those are two pretty solid contenders to be manager of the season in Scottish top flight. Celtic continuing to be the team at the top of the table in Scotland, making a much better fist of it in European football as well. And as for Dundee United, well, they really make you forget pretty quickly if you're not careful that they last season were a championship team. How well have they adapted to their return to the top flight? They've managed to overhaul Aberdeen, get themselves into third spot. But Jim Goodwin obviously very conscious of the match schedule ahead of his team in making 5 changes tonight. Celtic go with a team which beat St Mirren here 3-0 on Sunday, but it is 5 changes for United, and the headline selection is a non-selection in that Sam Dalby is on the bench for them as the two captains, Callum McGregor and Declan Gallagher, do the coin toss with referee Kevin Clancy. Yes, the 10-goal Premiership's leading goal scorer Dalby is among the subs, and while there are knocks around and Jim Goodwin is using his squad tonight with that game to come in Paisley against St Mirren on Saturday, he will be hoping that his team can stay in touch for as long as possible tonight, and who knows what will happen in the last 20-25 minutes of this tonight if United can stay close and throw in Dalby at that late stage, wondering if he can keep up his scoring streak of the moment. Double figures already for the on-loan Wrexham striker. Anyway, meantime, he's not involved, and we are just about all set to go. Dundee United in there, a funky change strip. I'll get our fashion consultant Alan Preston to describe it for you shortly, but underway at Celtic Park. What do you reckon, Al?
Parma violet purple.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Is that a favourite colour of yours?
Yeah, it really shows my eyes off.
On the ball, Greg Taylor very early on for Celtic. A lot of talk about Taylor, a lot of talk about Tierney as well. I wonder if there'll be some Kieran Tierney chanting in the course of this evening as the ball is quickly moved on to Dyson Maida. Comes in off the left-hand side, looks to exchange passes with McCowan, and it's scrambled away by Adegboyega at the back for Dundee United, who don't want to be conceding early on. St Mirren held out for half an hour here at the weekend before the inevitable ensued, but you certainly don't want to be allowing Celtic to get themselves in front in the early moments. That will very much be the plan for Brendan Rodgers' team. Maida involved again, shifting it in for Engels. Everyone getting a touch. Alistair Johnston is up there. Adam Ida dropping out of the box and now heading back in as the cross comes in. Headed clear by United, who have to be so watchful and disciplined at these early stages.
There's no Nicholas Kuhn. Yang's playing instead of Kuhn.
Ah, right, okay. That is a change to the advertised team sheet. Yang on the right side of the attack for Celtic, but it's on the left at the moment with Maida. No way through for him. Good defending from Dundee United, looking pretty solid early on here, but the Celtic fans like us are getting used to the fact that Yang is in the team, and no Nicholas Kuhn, an early season contender for Player of the Year. Maida again, left side of the box, drops it in, back post. Really good area. Will Ferry heads it behind. Celtic have their first corner.
Yeah, listen, we don't know what's happened to Kuhn, whether he's got an injury in the warm-up and Yang's come in. but it gives it Yang another opportunity to try to impress here at home in front of the fans.
Corner kick right hand side for Celtic in the opening minutes of this match against Dundee United. All the news to come from Rugby Park as it unfolds as well. Kilmarnock against Motherwell, big incentives for those two in terms of what 3 points would mean to them. Here comes Arne Engels to deliver the game's first corner kick, out-swinging from the right side. Nobody got on the end of it. That was dangerous for Dundee United, and all the way out to the left-hand side. Back it goes. Comes the cross ball. Dundee United again defending it solidly. Now they look to break forward for the first time, and free kick given.
And rightly so. Maeda, brilliant at tracking back, but he does catch the United player.
Yeah, and listen, from Celtic's perspective, it was a good foul, a professional foul. But Dundee United, of course, they had players higher up the pitch. Will Ferry was breaking on this left-hand side here, and that's where he tried to pick him out. And because he was fouled, he couldn't get his pass away.
Yeah, it was Glenn Middleton, wasn't it, that was taken out?
Rob,
yeah.
Just looking at that corner there, it's great to see, for me, Dundee United go man for man. So many times now you get zonal and people get runs on you. United, not saying that they won't concede a goal from a set play tonight, but that's the way I would have liked it. Give someone a man, designate him, make sure he doesn't score.
Ross Graham in the Dundee United back three, deputising for Kevin Holt, who's such a big player for them. But in comes Graham, who's got a long throw on him. He's got a goal touch on him as well, as the ball is played back to Jack Walton. It wasn't a pass back he was fancying by the looks of it, and he slices it out for a throw-in on the far side for Celtic.
Yeah, well, he knew if he took a touch he was going to get closed down and he was going to be under, so he elected to play it first time. But because he came back and it bobbled up on him, and he just all he had to do is clear his lines, and he's put the ball out of play and give possession back to Celtic. Trusty
to Carter Vickers across to Johnston, right hand side, chips it in behind Ferry, or tries to. Back goes United's number 11, gets a good head on it. McCowan now, right hand side for Celtic, keeps it alive and chips the ball into the centre circle for Trusty, who opened his scoring account at the weekend against St Mirren, and has been a sound signing by Brendan Rodgers. And Liam Scales at the moment can't get in the team. Carter Vickers to Yang, wide right. Ferry again tries to stay close, and United trying to keep their defensive shape with Celtic in possession. And it's Maeda down the left side, again looking to deliver. Plenty of hooped shirts in the box for Celtic. Engels back to Trusty, and again Celtic switch from side to side. Johnston for McCowan, feeds it out to Yang. Johnston again, there's movement in the box from Engels, hooks it in to the central area, and Dundee United again in a good shape defensively, well positioned to get that clear.
Yeah, but it's that nice little run, isn't it? A little penetrating run from Engels. He's high up the pitch to start with it, and then he makes that run in behind, and it was picked out. Celtic can afford to play balls into the box with a little bit of height today, or tonight, because they've got Adamida in there also. So that's another option. That's the same run again from
McCowan
Engels.
to Engels, great ball across goal. It was screaming for a finishing touch. Dundee United managed to tuck it behind for a corner kick.
He's got wonderful delivery as Engels. It's a really good run. It's difficult that because he's running across the ball and then has to hook it back. But it's a wonderful ball across, just no takers. But let that change, Rob, with Kuhn not playing and Yang playing. It's completely different for Ferry as well. He's thinking Nicholas Kuhn, I've got to pay attention, he's got to be coming in on his left foot. Yeah. Now it's Yang, and with 10-15 minutes to go probably before the start of the game, he's going to have to change his game plan.
Engels really influential so far to take another corner kick, this time on the left. In it comes from Engels, low, doesn't get beyond Ferry, near post, straight back out, and it's a good block by Will Ferry again as Engels tried to nick the ball past him towards the byline, and he's certainly starting well. He's having a great season as well for Dundee United.
Yeah, and listen, I spoke to Jim about it. Jim's very impressed with him, and he's also talking about his 1v1 defending. On that occasion there, he was up against Engels, but he stood his ground. ended up getting fouled, but that 1v1 defending is critical, I think, for any player when you're a defender. If you can't do that, you can do all the attacking a bit, but if you can't defend in a 1v1, you don't need help, and you should be able to do it.
Walton launching the ball forward. We haven't seen Dundee United as an attacking force as yet, and the ball lost by Chevels in the middle of the pitch when he had a chance maybe to get United into the final third for the first time. But play heading in the opposite direction in familiar fashion at Celtic Park. The ball steered into the box by Maeda. Mistake by Adegboyega, who took a dangerous touch in the box and almost let Celtic in. And now it's Dundee United who look to counter with Fotheringham, and a good challenge from Trusty stops him in his tracks. Engels with the outside of the boot, in behind for Maeda. Surely an offside flag. It goes up now as Maeda backheels it, keeps it in, but he was always going to be flagged for offside.
Yeah, it was good play from Dundee United. Van der Sande there, he's unlucky, but Trusty does well, he gets back. Then it's an easy pass through for Maeda, but he goes, you can see here, he's 3 or 4 yards offside. Jim Goodwin shouting at the assistant. But it's that really frustrating period where he's got to let the ball play through.
8.5 minutes gone at Celtic Park. BBC Radio Scotland. Celtic 0, Dundee United 0, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 0. There is a game in the Premiership tomorrow night as well, of course, at Dens Park. Dundee against Rangers, you'll get that one right here, and by then Rangers could be 16 points behind in second place. Nice touch from McCowan down the line looking for Yang, who's probably pretty surprised to be in the starting lineup with that late change to the Celtic 11.
Yeah, it doesn't help Yang either, because you know he's probably got a psychological mind on that he's going to be on the bench, and maybe even the warm-up might not be as thorough as it would be if you were starting, so he's got to get himself into the game somehow very, very quickly.
The ball out for a throw-in on the right-hand side for Dundee United. Adegboyega to Declan Gallagher, the captain, and again Adegboyega just dwelling on the ball, and it gets away with it again.
He had no option today. Once the ball was past him, he didn't have an option to pass it inside. Declan Gallagher would have been better just clipping that ball up to their front man rather than giving it to him there.
Walton to Graham as Dundee United play it out. Gallagher forward for Van der Sande. Gives it away, it bounces straight out to Maeda, works the 1-2, Maeda threatening it in behind, Adegboyega with the challenge, and he does pretty well, the young Irishman, to somehow escort the ball behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, really good defending there, nice turn by Maeda there, rolls the ball down to Maeda. Adegboyega's very, very quick, very strong as well, pulls off Maeda.
Well, Van der Sande's got to be keeping it, it's got to be sticking for him when Dundee United play the ball up.
When you look at it from here, they've taken the short goal kick, of course, but there's a huge space in front of Van.
Given away by Trapanovsky. McCowan has it right side, feeds it into the box. It was a really clever pass from him, trying to pick out Adam Ida, and again Dundee United get that away in the nick of time.
Yeah, I was just going to say that huge space in front of Van der Sande, they can't exploit it because Celtic go and press high, and that's where the space is. Yes, you can take it short, suck them in, and then the next ball for me is up to him. But you're right, Rob, he's got to be able to hold it up and get players up to support him at that point.
Greg Taylor, left-hand side for Celtic, steers it back to Trusty. Square for Carter Vickers. Patient play, as ever, from Celtic, working all the angles, looking for a breakthrough here against Dundee United. United being patient and watchful, and that's what you have to do here. But again, they lose it pretty cheaply, Dundee United, and now hustling to try to win it back on halfway with Trusty. Celtic 0, Dundee United 0. Goalless in the 2 Premiership games so far. Surging forward, Johnston plays it wide for Yang. Ferry is his permanent shadow as the ball is switched across by Celtic down the left-hand side through Trusty to Maeda. Support from Taylor, a little jinking run. Taylor to the byline, steers it across goal. Well positioned. Declan Gallagher gets it away for Dundee United.
Yeah, good defending from Declan Gallagher, using his experience, killing that near post. The cut back was on actually to McGregor, who was just trailing in behind all of those front players.
Taylor's chip ball into the box, looking for McCowan, and it's gone behind for a corner kick. It was Sheffield who got his head to it, plugging the gaps inside the penalty box. Celtic have their third corner of the game.
Just watching Brendan Rodgers, he's wanting Yang to take it quick if he can. United have got 3 players out there.
It's going to be Engels, as usual, who will deliver here for Celtic. They're banging on the door, but still no saves for Walton. Engels with the outswinging corner kick, and it's Adamida's header which clips the crossbar on its way over. In fact, it was Trusty who scored at the weekend. He got his head to it, and that was close to the opening goal.
It's a carbon copy of what he did at the weekend, and you know, the analysis would have been done on that. It's difficult to defend if you get blocked off, but whoever's in that near post area defensively has got to do a job. It's just kind of almost hit in over that first man into an area for Trusty to come and attack, and it was a good header. All he's got to do is get his head on it and steer it on to goal.
13 and a half minutes gone, still goalless, but not for the want of trying by Celtic. And Trusty, having taken a while to make his scoring breakthrough, was very close to 2-2. Adegboyega clears.
That's better for Van der Sande, holding the ball up.
Yeah, he was having his shirt pulled as well.
And it's the first time, Rob, that Walton's actually kicked it. He's not, from the by kick, he's not played it to one of his centre-halves. Because Celtic are squeezing, that is on for the drop into Van der Sande, and he actually holds it up there, gets United up the park, and they've won a free kick, which is just given away.
Yeah, really poor one. They've just given Celtic the ball back effectively here, and that's never a great idea. McGregor in possession, and Trusty steers it down the left side for Maida. Into the middle from McCowan, and it's Ross Graham tucking in, who clears. Dundee United just cannot keep the ball and get up the pitch at all, but then that can be a familiar story for the opposition at Celtic Park. Taylor involved in the build-up. Now McGregor, neat and tidy on the ball in the middle of the pitch as ever. Carter Vickers to Johnston. Yang on the touchline, right-hand side, doing a pretty tight marking job on him so far. Ferry.
What he's doing really well, Ferry, he's picking up really good positions, and he's able to do.
Engels on the byline, flighted ball in, and pouched by Jack Walton.
Yeah, he's able to go in and cover his centre half, but he's got a pace to get out then when that ball's played to Yang, and then force him backwards in that sort of 1v1 situation.
Celtic 0, Dundee United 0. Ferry now on the ball, looking to get forward. In comes the challenge from McGregor, and it's out for a throw into the Tannadice team. Every minute that United can get through here without suffering any damage will add to their belief. The ball goes back to Jack Walton, and he bullets it up towards the halfway line, towards Van der Sande.
Yeah, it was a good ball. Now there was a pace on that ball, wasn't there? And it's difficult for the striker, but ultimately that's what the striker's got to do: hold it in, take people in. He's got the first touch, but then he wasn't able to keep control of it, and they lost possession again, Dundee United.
Kuhn's replacement, Yang, cutting in off the right side, feeds it back. It was behind McCowan, but he collects it, and he has it again, the former Dundee midfielder. Trusty and Carter Vickers, and now McGregor having a look at what's on. Neat, quick, slick passing from Celtic. Up to the edge of the box it goes. The ball pinging around. United need to get it clear, and finally do, thanks to Declan Gallagher. Let's head for Rugby Park and Crags.
Yeah, indeed, Rob. Well, Stuart Kettlewell said ahead of the game he wanted his players to start fast, and they have not taken heed at all. It's been all Kilmarnock in the opening 15 minutes. Molly Watkins had a shot from the edge of the box. Probably should have done better after a couple of minutes, but the big chance, 9 minutes in, corner kick, Joe Wright from 2 yards, should have scored. Somehow Aston Oxford kept the ball out of the back of the net, still 0-0.
0-0 here as well, as Adegboyega tries to usher the ball back to his goalkeeper. Jack Walton just wasn't coming for it, and in the end that needed to be dealt with Maida very much in the vicinity, and it's knocked behind for a corner kick.
You don't take chances there. You've got to clear your lines, because Maida, the one thing he will do is close you down. He won't give up on lost causes, and that time he was on to him, and he just had to knock it by because the goalkeeper had hesitated.
Yet another corner kick for Celtic, still looking for the breakthrough. It's Engels, it's in swinging, it's right on top of Walton, who dived out to try to catch it. Not sure if he got any gloves on it at all, but no damage done. It was beyond everyone in hoops, in and around that penalty box. And Dundee United keep this at 0-0 meantime, and the ball in the centre circle with Carter Vickers. It goes to Trusty. And McGregor in between the two centre-backs moves it on to Johnston and Yang. And Yang heads in field again.
We did think that, you know, Dundee United were going to play a back five. In fact, they've gone with a back four, and that gives them an extra player in the middle of the pitch to compete.
Engels trying to get a shot away inside the box, always on the rise, always over the top, and no save required from Jack Walton.
No, not at all. And so far, the touch rate for Dundee United, 18.5 minutes, almost 19. Walton's not really had much to do. Corner come out, gets a touch on it, and that's been about it.
Out it goes from Walton to Gallagher. Down the line towards Fotheringham. Back goes Maida to win it for Celtic. Now Carter Vickers stepping into the Dundee United half, driving forward and giving the ball to Yang. First time on for Johnston. Cross goal it goes from the full-back. Dundee United again get it clear. Piling a lot of energy, United, into concentration and defending and keeping Celtic at bay. It's hard work when you're out of possession.
That was the first real opportunity to see that relationship between Johnston and Yang in this game so far. Normally it's Kuhn and Johnston, and they link up so well together, but that was a good ball from Yang to put Johnston into a really good position.
But Dundee United centre-half pattern taking up good positions in that front six. You know, when you watch Celtic, when they get to bylines, they like to cut it back. You know, Kyogo, when he normally plays, it'll be Aramida tonight, try to run across the front of the centre-half. So the two of them plank themselves at the front six twice. Already Gallagher and Graham have cut one out each.
So much adaptability and manoeuvrability about Celtic, constantly swapping positions on the pitch, making life very difficult for Dundee United to be picking them up. And they're looking to just increase the tempo at the moment, the home team. Shifting it wide to Yang again. And back it goes with Carter Vickers. McCowan down the middle, the Ida layoff. And United get it away again. And there's a rare touch of the ball, maybe his first of the match for Kasper Schmeichel. He was almost up to the halfway line to get a touch on the ball. Dundee United so far have got nowhere near him.
I think he had one in the first minute. Now we're, what, 20 minutes gone, so that's the second touch after 20 minutes.
It goes Ferry again into the tackle against Yang. Yang really hasn't got started in terms of getting beyond Ferry so far. McCowan tries to thread a pass through for Engels, always on the move, always clever at timing his runs into the box. Not picked out that time, but McCowan full of ideas. Trusty plays it left side for Maida, heading for the byline, steers it in low, and Adegboyega was in the way to get that clear for Dundee United. Scrapping for it, Van der Sande. He'll put in a shift, that's for sure.
He'll put in a shift, but it's a mismatch from physical perspective that between himself and Trusty, and that's probably he's coming out second best from that tussle at the moment.
McGregor, McCowan, good challenge
Pat, would you not like to see Yang going down the outside once? Take Ferry on down the outside?
Absolutely. You know, that mix, you know, I'm Palmer's biggest critic because of that. He never goes down the outside, and that, yeah, you want wingers to mix it up, don't you?
I've always been taught as a winger.
Mistake by Sheffield at the edge of the box. Walton makes the save, and Dyson Maida opens the scoring for Celtic. The inevitable breakthrough when the pressure is intense, as it's been for the Tannadice team. It's goal number 14 of the season for Dyson Maida, and they are in front against Dundee United.
Yeah, he was onto it really sharp. As soon as that ball came back off the goalkeeper, he was the quickest to react inside the box and took that ball in the back of the net to give that Celtic, that we talked about it before the game, that vital goal lead from their perspective. I'm just wondering whether the goalkeeper goalkeepers don't hold the ball anymore these days, you know, and maybe he couldn't knock it away to safety because he's seen out of the corner of his eye. Adamida was in that sort of almost possession if he knocked it left, but could he have held on to it, Alan?
Possibly. You're a better goalkeeper than me. I'm disappointed for United, and Middleton just gives it away at the edge of the box, back to McCowan, and the shot is saved by Walton. He pushes it into a dangerous area. Yeah. Could he have pushed it wide? I don't know, Pat.
The point I'm saying is that if he knocked it wide, I think Adamida was in that vicinity to maybe do what Maeda did. But what I'm just thinking, it wasn't that hard a shot. You know, can you hold on to it? Can you make that save? And then, but goalkeepers nowadays are even their training, they don't hold anything. Everything's parried away into safety.
It was O'Dada's pass either into Chevelle or Middleton.
It was Chevelle, yeah.
Chevelle, and it goes right to him. He takes a poor touch back, and it allows McCowan to get on it. It's a decent effort, good save.
And Celtic now go in search of goal number 2, and Dundee United force the ball behind for a corner kick. Martin, your view of the goal before we get this corner?
Yeah, I think Packy might have a point. He does get down low, but you would have to think the keeper might be able to hold on to that. Adamida is to his right, so he parries it that way. It's probably a goal anyway, but I think he'll be disappointed not to have held on.
Celtic with another corner kick and another chance to pile more pressure on Dundee United. Engels plays it in, punched away by Walton, out to the edge of the area. United look to get it further away, further down the pitch. Celtic looking to add to that opening goal from Dyson Maida. Well, there's no doubt, of all the things that Jack Walton could have done, he doesn't want to be pushing out in front. No. Anyway, goal at Rugby Park, Cracks.
Yeah, indeed, Robin. No surprise, it's arrived for Kilmarnock. Motherwell will give the ball away cheaply in the halfway line. Dan Casey give it away, and you know what? They've just ruled it out for offside, so it's still 0-0. Huge let off for Motherwell. It was Brad Lands that put the ball in the net, but now it's been ruled out for offside.
0-0 there, 1-0 Celtic here. Glenn Middleton clearing for United. I think Jim Goodwin, I saw him talking in animated fashion to the fourth official after the goal, but what will really be angering him will be the crazy pass that O'Dada attempted at the edge of the area, which bounced off Chevelle, gave McCowan the chance to have the shot at goal, and of course it was when it's parried by Walton, it's an easy finish from Maida.
Celtic score some good goals, but you don't want to give them one, and that's what they've given them there. That's on a plate for them, really. Yeah. You know, United had it at the edge of the box, even if O'Dada puts his foot through it and clears it up the park into the Celtic half, fair enough. He's trying to play out the back, put Chevelle under real pressure.
Goal scorer Maida in possession, left-hand side for Celtic, steers it into the middle. Trapanovsky can intercept and look to break for Dundee United, but they've done very little going forward.
They've got to do better in that department. You know, be from midfield to front, they've got to get a hold of the ball better. You've mentioned it a few times, Rob, in your commentary, and everything's broken down when they have it. Whether you even take two or three passes just to get yourself into a position where you can then actually progress, but giving it away.
Yang feeds the ball into the box, the back heel from Engels, and United, Ross Graham trying to scramble away, doesn't get it away, and Yang is at the edge of the area trying to feed the ball into the box, and again United managed to get it clear, but they're They'll fear they're living on the edge here. One down already. Celtic threatening to go further in front, and then the game can slip further and further away. Adamida into the middle. McCowan is there. Now Engels just outside the box, and it skims off a Dundee United head. His shot, I think it was Ross Graham, and that glances it behind for the corner.
Yeah, I think McCowan had a chance to pull the trigger on his right side, and he comes back onto his left, gives it to Engels eventually inside, and it was a decent effort. I don't know whether it was going to beat the goalkeeper. We'll never know at this point in time, because it took a deflection for the corner.
He was certainly flinging himself across anyway, it was Jack Walton. Another corner, right-hand side this time for Engels, out swinging. And when it reaches Middleton, he has a fresh air shot at it, and that doesn't help. It needs a little bit more composure from United here, as McCowan plays it into the box, and a stooping header gets it away for Dundee United. Now it's Van der Sande on the halfway line, looking for a pass.
That's poor.
And that's a
really poor.
He tries to find Trapanovski, and it's way beyond him and out. And at the moment, Dundee United are playing very much into Celtic's hands.
They are, you know, they don't have a lot of touches, and when they do get them, that was a pass under no pressure at all. It was a simple pass out to Trapanovski, and he overhits it and gives Celtic the ball back immediately. As where if he plays it to his feet, Trapanovski's got a chance of getting at Johnson, try to get further up the park, maybe get a corner, a free kick, a chance at goal. He just immediately gives Celtic the ball back.
Taylor to Trusty. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0. Maida is the man so far for Celtic, as Johnston clips one over the top of Ferry, too much on it, through to Jack Walton. And Dundee United will be determined here not to make any similar mistakes. They can't afford to. Maybe this game has gone already for them, but they need to be staying in touch with Celtic.
Yeah, while it's 1-0, they've got to believe they'll get a chance. They've had nothing so far in the opening 29 minutes, but they've got to believe, let's keep it 1-0. That's why you won't see Dundee United or Jim changing formation or anything like that. You try and stay in the game for as long as they can.
But you can see how important Dalby is to them, you know, as a player up front,
as a target. Yeah. Dundee United losing possession, then trying to win it back. It's been pretty untidy from them so far. They'll be disappointed at the unforced errors they've made, particularly at the goal. And if you do make a mistake like that against Celtic, you can be pretty darn sure you're going to get punished for it. And that's precisely what's happened here. Johnston to Yang, speeds in field, away from Ferry this time. It's a great run into the box from Yang, heading for the byline, tries to pull it back. Odada is there.
What is he doing again?
Again, Dundee United looking for time on the ball inside the penalty box. It was Odada again, trying to stay cool and calm, but what he was doing was playing his team into trouble.
Yeah, again, we all like to play the beautiful game, but there's a time and a place, and it's certainly not in your box when 3 or 4 Celtic players are around you and he loses it again. They're lucky. The referee could have waved play on there, but I'm sure that Jim Goodwin and his Dundee United team were quite happy to take the foul, take the sting out the game, take your time, get up the park, because it's been relentless so far from Celtic.
Half an hour gone, Celtic 1, Dundee United 0, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 0. Kilmarnock had the ball in the net, goal chalked off, so still goalless between those two. Kilmarnock can go virtually to the top 6 if they can win that one tonight. Motherwell can move to within a point of Aberdeen, were they to get all 3 points. Celtic here can go 16 points in front with 17 games to go, and they're very much on track for that, even though they lead by only a goal to 0. There is a feeling of inevitability around the ground that they're going to add to their 1-goal advantage.
Yeah. Dundee United keep playing that ball into Van der Sar, straight balls into him, and I don't think he's maybe one ball that he's sort of get almost held up. Would it be better that he could even run down the channel a little bit?
Come short to go long, Pat. Yeah.
Maida beyond Fotheringham, dangerous ball in around the penalty spot again. This time Chevels does the sensible thing and just gets rid of it. Sometimes Odada alongside him has been too keen to play football in dangerous areas for United. Johnston for Celtic to McCowan, right hand side, and ahead of him is Yang. Back with Callum McGregor surging onto the ball, 30 yards out. Yang down the line for Johnston. In goes Chevelge, and the ball goes out for a Celtic throw, and it was a shove. Could have been a free kick. Is a throw. Johnston into McCowan, struggling to control the bouncing ball. I think he was caught by a flailing hand by Van der Sande. Play going to be stopped, and Dundee United probably relieved that play is stopped, because they were getting themselves into trouble again inside their own penalty box.
Yeah, just trying to calm the ball down, but it's the wrong area to play a couple of passes, isn't it? Especially with Celtic counter-pressing them. Again, you've got to clear your lines, but they've never really got. We talked about balls into Van der Sande, you know, and they haven't really got beyond Trusty. Give Trusty something to think about. Do I just stay tight on him, or do I have to drop off a little bit to cover the space behind? But they've never threatened that space behind.
I think it's always the case when you've got a big target man like Van der Sande that he's not going to be able to run over the top.
Is
well,
he big?
He's the biggest they've got. That plays up front, but you think now and again, just go over the top once or twice, mix your game up, because at the moment, I'm sure that when the team lines went in, Trusty and Carter Vickers are delighted to see that it's Van der Sande and not Dalby.
Yeah.
Ross Graham starting to push Dundee United a little bit further forward. And there's a free kick for Jim Goodwin's team inside the centre circle for a challenge on Van der Sande.
Yeah, he did go to ground. I didn't see much in it, and you know, I think he got a contact on the ball, Magda, but again, he took a touch there, Van der Sande, and he just belaying that ball off very quickly and then get spinning out of there and getting away, and then you don't get caught on the ball.
Dundee United will do well to get to half-time, only a goal behind.
Try and get it out wide to Middleton if they can here, and then he'll be one-on-one with McCowan.
It's almost in the middle of the pitch, just outside the centre circle. Ferry clips it towards the right side, towards Gallagher and Graham. Cleared by McGregor in the end, and back with Ferry on halfway, and all the way back now to Jack Walton in goal, who has to have a question mark over him for his part in the Celtic goal. A parry which sent the ball right out in front, and it was an easy finish for Dyson Maeda, saving from McCowan. Celtic looking very comfortable in the game, dominant in the game, but with only the one goal to show for their efforts so far. Taylor to Trusty, and now Carter Vickers as Celtic go left to right. McCowan taking the ball with his back to goal on halfway, clipping it to Trusty. Taylor keeps it moving to Maeda, left hand side, early ball in, comes off Adegboyega, and behind for yet another Celtic corner. They've had plenty. They take this one short, steer the ball in. Taylor with a spin on the byline, tries to find the cut back, blocked by United. Behind again, another corner.
Yeah, it's the one part of Maeda's game that you're never sure what he's going to do. You know, he gets into great positions, put the cross in, but he hits the first defender. Maybe sometimes he miscontrols it. It's obviously his energy, his speed, his strength, and his finishing power that can actually is the real threat from him. But there's bits of his game that still needs to be worked on.
The latest in a long line of corners for Celtic. Engels delivers, punched away by Walton. The header from McCowan, the layoff from Ida. Celtic looking to increase their advantage before half-time. Just the 81% possession for the home team so far. In comes the cross from Engels, headed away by Graham. McCowan is there, and then it's Odada for United with a header which is picked up by Yang in the middle of the pitch, looking to spin away from Chevelge, fouled by the Croatian. Free kick Celtic.
They just can't get out, United. Every time one of them gets the ball, there's a Celtic man on him.
Johnson clips the ball in. Ida has a spectacular attempt at hooking that in, right-footed. It was blocked and cleared, and Dundee United dreaming of the half-time whistle, I would imagine, at the moment.
But it looks, you know, Jim looks a bit downhearted, and I get that, but this happens to virtually every domestic club when they come here. Celtic dominate, it's just try to stay in the game.
Ida's layoff, good feet from McGregor. Engels on the left foot, blocked, prodded away by Adegboyega. Fotheringham back again with Emmanuel Adebayoga. Couldn't find a pass. Celtic swarming around him to regain possession. Taylor squares it to Johnston. Ahead of him is Yang. Celtic with a thirst for more goals. Yang, Johnston, wide right. 1-0. They lead against Dundee United. One of two Premiership games tonight, the other goalless at Rugby Park. McGregor looking to pick up the pace and work a 1-2 at the edge of the area. The loose ball pounced on out on the left side by Maida.
That's the one bit of the game that I didn't mention that Maida is brilliant at closing people down, and he does it so well. There was two occasions there just right after each other, and he won the ball back.
Mistake by Adebayoga, giving it away on the byline, and Dundee United managed to cover up for the mistake and get the ball clear.
Very lucky there, Adebayoga. Really good play by McCowan. He wins it off him, but United are causing their own downfall there.
Yep. It's just choosing the time to play and where to play, and Dundee United doing it in all the wrong areas. Johnston tries to squeeze a cut back across goal. It's deflected into the side net, and that will add to the corner count. Yeah, and they've all been for Celtic.
The goalkeeper committed himself there, didn't he?
Yeah,
you know, he went for a ball that he probably may even not be able to get, and he's gone to ground, and that deflection just took it past the post.
Anyone fancy another corner for Celtic? Right hand side this time. Just the one goal so far for the Premiership leaders, looking to widen that yawning gap at the top of the table. Maida's goal, the only one so far, in from Engels, headed away by Graham near post. A cushion header back from Yang to Johnston, and Kasper Schmeichel continues to be a spectator in the game. United getting nowhere near him. Engels clips one forward towards Yang. Just a moment of hesitation before Dundee United dealt with it. Now Ferry stays calm, finds Chevelch, back to Ross Graham, and he launches it up to the halfway line where Carter Vickers wins the header. Now Van der Sande with Adebayoga galloping up on the right hand side, rolls it into the middle. Carter Vickers gets it away. Dundee United look to be shocked that they got into the final third for the first time.
Yeah, and Carter Vickers gets the shout for Schmeichel to leave it, but he plays it, elects to knock it out for a throw, but that's as far up the field as Dundee United have been in this opening, what, 40 minutes?
35 minutes gone.
35 minutes.
You're right.
Yeah, and they've got a throw in here, and of course what they have is Ross Graham, who can get a fair old distance on this, and not having got anywhere near Kasper Schmeichel, you're just wondering if they can suddenly find a scoring threat here. In comes from Graham. Can United get ahead on the end of it? No, is the answer. Celtic get it away, and Ferry tidies up for Dundee United on the halfway line and holds off Maida as he was looking to sprint forward. Downfield from Walton, headed away by Carter Vickers, collected by McGregor.
You see how quick Celtic got up the park there, where the ball went back from Ferry back to Walton, and the Celtic defence pushed right up to the halfway line, leaving about 4 or 5 United players in an offside position, slow to get back.
Greg Taylor's pass down the left for Maida. Taylor again in that inside left channel. Engels back to Trusty, and Carter Vickers. Normal service resumed after that little flurry from the long throw inside the Celtic box. It was brief for Dundee United. Johnston fires one forward for Ida, tries to play in McCowan, well defended by Chevelch.
There's very little space in there to operate, isn't it, for balls into Adamida's feet, and that is so tight. You've got to be so accurate with your pass, and then to get that layoff to people is just virtually impossible.
Taylor into the middle for Carter Vickers, and alongside him Alistair Johnston, who plays it wide to Yang. Now McCowan. Infield for McGregor. Taylor. McCowan. Curling ball in. Headed away by Ross Graham. Maida there. Sets it up for Trusty to have the shot, which was blocked. Van der Sande looking to spark a counter-attack, but spark is something that's been missing for Dundee United in the game, and certainly going forward. When they have had the ball, unable to do anything with it. Yang steps inside again. McCowan rolls it through. Another clever idea, and another moment that doesn't quite come off for Celtic as they look to add to Dyson Maida's only goal of the game.
Jim Goodwin will be hoping that he can get his team in this critical time just before half-time, but get him in at 1-0, at least then you've done something that you can positively speak about.
I tell you, I've got to say, I think Will Ferry's been excellent.
Really good. But a poor clearance from United, lands at the feet of McGregor, who feeds it in, and Engels trying to pull it back from the byline. Good sliding challenge to block the ball getting in. But yeah, if Dundee United had 11 like Ferry, they'd be in better shape. Corner kick taken short. Quick first time passing from Celtic. In from Taylor. Almost an opportunity at the back post for Trusty, who looks to fire the ball back into the danger zone. Nobody in the 6-yard box for Celtic. An unchallenged take for Jack Walton. Let's get the latest on Kilmarnock against Motherwell from Craggs.
Yeah, it's still 0-0 down at Rugby Park, Rob, but Kilmarnock's dominance has continued. They're the only side looking as if they're going to make the breakthrough. There's been a couple of stoppages in the lead up to half-time. There's been a couple of head knocks. Kilmarnock are playing all the football. Motherwell are hanging on. It's still 0-0.
0-0 there, 1-0 Celtic here. The Premiership doubleheader tonight, and it's Dundee against Rangers at Dens tomorrow night. Johnston has the ball for Celtic here. Celtic have had the ball virtually the entire first half. The possession figures will be interesting after 45 minutes. They certainly were at 81%.
I was going to ask you that actually, Alan. You're good at checking these things, but it must be even higher than 81%.
Taylor to Maida, edge of the box, left-hand side. Taylor looping around him, clips the ball into the middle. Good header away by Declan Gallagher. Celtic just keep on coming at Dundee United.
You're right, Pat, sitting at 83% now.
Higher. Alistair Johnston, corner of the penalty box, right-hand side, gives it to Yang. Johnston to the byline. If you've just joined us, Yang replacing Nicholas Kuhn late on after the team sheets had been printed. Taylor for Celtic feeds it through. Engels, Johnston, 25 yards from goal. McCowan right in front of goal as we go inside stoppage time. Just 1 minute to be added to the 45.
Adam Trusty's now getting involved. He's almost like 4 or 5 yards, Carter figures from at times from the Dundee United penalty box, and just it's a swarm of players. Very difficult to break it down actually, but
yeah, the entire game is compressed into about 40 odd yards from Jack Walton at the moment as the ball pings off Johnston.
No, what they've not done, Celtic.
Goes behind.
Sorry, Rob. What they've not done is, I was watching them against St Johnstone, Engels especially, they put in some brilliant crosses. They've not done that tonight, Celtic. They've tried to score the perfect goal for me, passing it around.
I agree with that, and especially if you've got Adam Mead in there. Obviously, it depends on the movement of Adam, but you know, put it in there, let him challenge, get the second phase. Then, if he doesn't win the first phase, but get it into an area where he can go and attack.
Almost over, in fact, take out the almost, because that's Kevin Clancy's whistle, and that is half-time at Celtic Park, and Celtic are halfway to making that gap at the top of the Premiership even wider. Was 13 going into this, will be 16. I think we can say that with a fair bit of authority, although Dundee United, I guess the big encouragement for them is the fact that the scoreline is only 1-0 at half-time. Celtic have absolutely dominated, 83% possession, and Dundee United as an attacking force, well, that just has not existed. They've also ridden their luck at times defensively. One or two of them have been looking to play football in the wrong areas, and it was that really that made a big contribution to the only goal of the game so far. Odada firing a pass at Chevelge, who looked surprised that his midfield colleague was attempting that at the edge of the penalty box. It bounced off the Croatian, and Luke McCowan curled a left foot shot towards goal. Down went Walton to make the save, but could he have pushed it wide? Could he have held on to it? What he did was push it straight out in front, and Dyson Maida wasn't going to say no to the invitation, rattling in his 14th goal of the season. That's the difference in terms of scoreline, but there's a fair old gulf here in terms of quality. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
On BBC iPlayer and Sounds.
When I was young, I was ferocious.
A new documentary and podcast look at the life and career of Sir Alex Ferguson.
I think he's the best manager of all time.
Everything he touched was successful.
That passion and desire to win.
Just how did a boy from Govan go on to become one of the most iconic managers in the game?
We don't only build boats on the Clyde.
He controlled everything. Ferguson was every department.
The minute I entered into it at 32 years of age, I couldn't fail.
The story of one of football's true sporting giants. Sir Alex. Watch on iPlayer. Listen on BBC Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound with Liam McLeod on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, on digital, online at the website bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland as well, where you've been listening to the first half of Celtic 1, Dundee United 0. Dyson Maida with the only goal of the game so far. A dominant Celtic performance. And the half-time whistle, Stephen Craigan's just gone at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock taking on Motherwell.
Liam, indeed. I mean, Derek McInnes' side have been as dominant as what he would have wished for ahead of this game. It's been one-way traffic, and he'll be getting scratching his head along with his players and thinking, how are we not leading this game? How's this game not over? Never mind leading the game. And it started after a couple of minutes. Really good play down the right-hand side with Fraser Murray. Pulled the ball back to the edge of the box to Marley Watkins. He probably should have composed himself a little bit better, but he tried to get too much on the ball and ended up dragging it wide. Only moments later then, a cross from the left-hand side from Corey Ndava was almost deflected into his own net by Liam Gordon. And from that corner kick was one of the really clear-cut chances for Kilmarnock. Joe Wright had a point-blank shot saved by Aston Oxford. It was an incredible save to keep Motherwell in the game. 5 minutes later, Fraser Murray cut in from the right-hand side. He fizzed one over with his left foot, and in 25 minutes it was almost a sucker punch. Motherwell almost took a lead. Really good interplay between Tony Watt and Marvin Coletta down the right-hand side. It finished with Tony Watt having a shot from about 10 yards, but it was a really smart save down to the right-hand side by Robbie McCrory. The breakthrough arrived, or we thought it arrived, on the half-hour mark. Really good play down the right-hand side by Fraser Murray and by Brad Lyons, but Brad Lyons was judged to have just went too early for the pass from Fraser Murray. He finished it terrifically well, but after a short delay, Don Robertson was told to rule it out for offside. Very similar incident actually, 3 or 4 minutes after that. Brad Lyons once again went down the right-hand side. This time he cut in on his left foot and he fizzed the shot, just went over the crossbar and landed on the roof of the net. Right on half-time, there was another two clear-cut chances. Corner kick from the right-hand side. Bobby Wales had a shot, saved once again, point-blank range from Aston Oxford, and then almost on the whistle, Robbie Dees had a header, crashed off the crossbar. How Motherwell are alive in this game, I have absolutely no idea. Derek McInnes won't believe it. Motherwell have to do an awful lot better. They're getting overrun in midfield. There's no build-up. There's no hold-up play. They are so lucky to be 0-0 in this game. How? I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a few things, Stephen, have stood out to me in the match, because I'm watching both of the Premiership games here in the studio this evening. Firstly, the finish from Brad Lyons is excellent. It's his right foot that's offside. It's marginal. They had to draw the line. It's very close. Brilliant finish from the Killie captain. I don't know if you saw the super skill from Lewis Mayo down the right-hand side.
I did indeed, and Andy Halliday just dragged him to the
Halliday said, I'm not having that.
No,
and he's hauled him down.
I think he embarrassed him, that was the problem. And rather than just letting him go, he told him, I think he told him a third time. before he eventually got him to the ground. But Kilmarnock, Liam, I said ahead of the game, I expected Kilmarnock to come out fiery after the weekend's result and disappointing performance, Derek McInnes said, against Ross County. They took the game to Motherwell right from the off, and they haven't relented. They've simply run over the top of them. Andy Halliday and Davor Zdravkovsky cannot cope with the energy and the movement of Liam Porworth and Kyle McGuinness. Fraser Murray's been all over the front line. He's been a real handful. Young Bobby Wales has been a standout. Molly Watkins' runs and pace has caused all sorts of problems to the back three. Motherwell just can't cope. They have to try and mix it up. They've got plenty of experienced players on the bench to try and bring them on. They need to get a hold of the ball. Otherwise, this game is going to run away from them. In fact, as Axel has said, it should be away from them. So they have to change something different.
The one other thing that stood out to me in this match is the performance of Aston Oxborough and the Motherwell goal. Now, this is astonishing. He's made the most saves in the Premiership of anyone this season. Coming into tonight, this is his 22nd game of the season. Coming into tonight, so not including this evening, he'd made 82 saves in the Premiership games this season. The next best is Dundee United's Jack Walton with 58. So 82 plays 58. That shows you, and again he's proven it tonight, just how important Aston Oxborough is to Motherwell and the season that they're having, because as we keep saying, it's 0-0 just now. If they win this, they're within a point of Aberdeen and Dundee United, which is incredible. And Oxborough's right at the heart of that.
Well, it's incredible watching this first half to think that Motherwell could be in that position. They've only got 3 clean sheets this season, and you can see why with the number of opportunities they give up. Of course, tonight, they're absolutely having to rely on the goalkeeper. But teams traditionally play a back 3 or a back 5 because they think they're a little bit weak at the back, and that's to try and plug the gaps. Well, Motherwell played a back 5 or a back 3 for most of the season, and the goalkeepers had to pull them out of the hole so many times. So unless that changes in the second half, Kilmarnock are going to run away with the game. But Aston Oxborough, he has made a few little errors here and there throughout the season, and it's been costly to them, but more often than not, he's been very reliable. He's quite happy to come off his line and catch crosses and take the pressure off the back line. But tonight, Liam, he's had 2 incredible saves from about a yard to keep Motherwell in it. So if they do get something out of the game tonight, they'll have to give him a huge pat in the back.
So it's 0-0 at Rugby Park between Killie and Motherwell. Dyson Maida's 15th goal of the season has Celtic ahead against Dundee United. There is a match in League 2 this evening which is currently being led 1-0 by Edinburgh City. Big game at the top of the table there. They lead the leaders East Fife by a 0-0 at Meadowbank, and it's been one of their men of the season in Connor Smith, who's got Connor Young, who's got the goal. It's his 17th of the campaign. He scored in the win over Bonnyrigg on Saturday. Well, he scored again. He's just on a fabulous run of form, and Edinburgh City looking to try and reel in East Fife. Edinburgh City, as it stands, sitting 4th, but just 2 points behind the Fifers if they can win that match. Both teams having played the same number of games. Edinburgh City 4th, East Fife top. Elgin and Peterhead in between the two. They've played a game fewer after tonight. Obviously the weather's had an impact on the lower leagues in recent days as well. Down south in the second of the EFL Cup semi-finals being played this week, the first legs of the ties. It's goalless between Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool after Newcastle's impressive display last night against Arsenal. The main headline to come from that game in London tonight has been a pretty horrific looking injury sustained by Spurs' Rodrigo Bentancur. He was down for a substantial period of time. He was stretchered off. It doesn't look great for the Uruguayan, so that's been the main story so far. They've played about 37 minutes. They're slightly behind because of that injury. Spurs 0, Liverpool 0 as they close in on half-time there. So I brought you the Scottish scores. They're highlights, of course, of the two matches this evening on Sports Scene at 20-11 this evening. It's a couple of hours from now, live on BBC One Scotland. We've got Dundee Rangers to come tomorrow, the other League Cup semi-final rescheduled fixture. Dundee Rangers at Dens, live on Sports Sound with Richard and the guys tomorrow evening. And then the latest championship action to come live on the BBC Scotland TV channel as Hamilton Accies host Partick Thistle. And then, of course, we do it all again over the course of the weekend, starting with Celtic's trip to Dingwall to take on Ross County. This is how quickly the season's going by. It doesn't seem that long ago that Ross County were hosting Celtic. In fact, apart from that game at Ibrox, that's the only time Celtic have been behind in a game this season. And Packy Bonar watching the game at Celtic Park tonight, where the champions and league leaders lead Dundee United by a 1-0. There's no real sign, and never has been any real sign, that they're in danger of going behind tonight.
No, the biggest surprise probably is that they haven't created as many chances with the amount of possession they've had. At one point we said it was 83. I don't know what it ended up in that first half, but it was incredible. Dundee United just could not get up the pitch. I think they might have been up the pitch probably once in the game, and every time they've tried to get up the pitch, Celtic have won it back and just pinned them back in. There was periods there where every player bar Kasper Schmeichel was within 40 yards of Dundee United goal.
84%, Packy. 84.
There you go.
It's just under 83.9.
It's incredible, but that's a surprise. They've had so much possession, but they haven't actually created a lot of clear-cut chances. It's only because there's so many players in there. You've almost, Alan mentioned it during commentary, that the surprise might have been that he didn't get more crosses in and maybe get in behind the Dundee United defence, especially in the wide areas, and tried then to get crosses from that position. Everything's been trying to be played through them, and Dundee United's got bodies in the way and so on and so forth. And the goal itself came from a misplaced pass by Dundee United, as Rob rightly says in the summing up at the end of the match. So that's been the only big surprise. Celtic have just absolutely dominated, kept moving the ball quite well, keeping it flowing, a lot of movement off the ball also at times, but there's so many bodies in there. It has to be almost a perfect goal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Packy was at this game with me. I remember it was a couple of seasons ago, and Jim Goodwin was Aberdeen manager, and Celtic ended the game with, I think, 81% possession. Aberdeen kept a clean sheet all the way through to the last few minutes. Callum McGregor broke the deadlock. I think they had more than 30 shots on goal that day. Alan,
the one up in Pittodrie?
Yeah, Pittodrie, yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's you can't compare the two really, because Celtic were away from home in that game. This is a much more difficult proposition going to Celtic Park. It's always difficult against the champions, even if you are at home. But going there, in particular, Alan, it's always very difficult. And Jim Goodwin expected this. He told us beforehand, but even before we heard from him, we saw his team sheet, and it was almost, I think we said it earlier on in the show before the game started, it was almost like he wrote this one off.
Yeah, and I think he'll still be, listen, no manager wants to be losing a game of football, but they're very much in the game. It's not as if Walton's had save after save after save to make. You know, it's been all in front of him. It's been cross balls, mainly been cut out by the centre halves at the front post. I think United's shape's been really good. They won't change that. And if they can get a bit more adventurous in the second half, the longer the game goes on, if it's still 1-0, United might just start to chuck bodies on. We might see Dalby coming on. You just never know, Liam. But their game plan at the moment is to stay in this game. Make sure they start the second half right. Try and, if they can, Van der Sande, can you hold the ball, get us up the park a bit further? Can we be a threat in the Celtic defensive areas? Because so far they've not shown anything. But that happens to a lot of clubs here, as I said in commentary. Dundee United have been brilliant this season, third in the table because of that excellent play. This game tonight won't define their season. Yes, they've hardly had a kick, 16% possession in that opening 45 minutes. But you can see their unit. They're all working for each other. Celtic have just got better players. That's the bottom line. But while it's 1-0, Jim and his team will still think we've got a chance here. It might be very, very slim, but they've still got a chance, and he'll be drumming that into his players right now. Yeah, I mean, the frustration is that Vichko Sebelj has gifted Celtic the ball in one of the worst areas. You can gift it to them on the edge of your own box, and obviously Jack Walton couldn't hold on to the initial shot, and Maida was there on the follow-up. Some signing news for Aberdeen supporters. This was just announced not long after the match in Glasgow kicked off, and Aberdeen have signed the Latvia captain Christers Tobers. He has been linked with Aberdeen over the course of the last few weeks. A substantial fee has been paid to the Swiss Super League side Grasshopper Zurich. It's an undisclosed fee. So again, I think Willie Miller always talks about the fact he doesn't get to know what the transfer fees are these days. It's always undisclosed, no matter how much it is. You will at one point when the accounts come out. Well, exactly. You'll find out next, November? Anyway, yeah. They've made their second signing. They brought in the Danish winger Jep Okels a couple of days ago on loan from Preston. That's with a view to signing
permanently in the summer. This is a 3.5-year deal for the Latvia skipper. So Christos Tobers is an Aberdeen player. I would expect perhaps even as much as, or as many, as 6 new signings at Aberdeen over the course of the winter window. There will be a couple leaving as well. It may be there'll be news of that in the coming days. But we'll keep an eye on that one. We'll keep an eye on all the other clubs, of course. We will keep an eye on Kilmarnock Motherwell, or at least Stephen Craigan will. He'll keep you up to date throughout the second half of the game at Parkhead, where Celtic lead Dundee United by a 1-0 thanks to Daizen Maeda. Remember, highlights on the telly tonight. Here on the radio, second half commentary from Celtic Park against Dundee United. It is Alan Preston, Packie Bonar and Rob McLean.
Thanks, Liam. A change immediately for Dundee United at the start of the second half. Ross Docherty introduced in place of Vichko Shevelj. So whether it's anything to do with his part in the Celtic goal or not, but Jim Goodwin was telling us pre-match that quite a few in his squad were feeling knocks and strains, and that might have something to do with it. Anyway, Shevelj off, Docherty on. Celtic as they were, and Celtic will want to get this wrapped up as quickly as possible. They'll want to widen the gap between themselves and Dundee United in terms of the scoreline, that is, because there couldn't be a much wider gap in terms of performance so far. They could have done more with their possession, Celtic, there's no doubt about that. They could be threatening Jack Walton a whole lot more than they have, and I don't think the Dundee United goalkeeper has covered himself in glory really in terms of his save from Luke McCowan, and all it did was set up Daizen Maeda to score the only goal of this game so far. Here comes Celtic again. Ida's layoff. McCowan right in the middle of the pitch, tries the shot, left-footed, blocked by Odada. Johnston out on the right-hand side, plays it back to Carter Vickers, taken on by Taylor, and now Trusty. Celtic looking to get Maeda back on the ball as much as possible. No Kuhn on the other side for Celtic today, as Middleton intercepts. Now Trapanovsky, and Dundee United looking to have more attacking intent in the first minute or so of the second half than they did in the whole of the first.
Van der Sar's taken right out the play there by Trusty. You see he's got his arms out, he's having a go at the referee and his assistant for not seeing it. It's 30-40 yards away from where the ball was.
Taylor for Celtic.
I think they've really missed Nicholas Kuhn, Pat. I really do.
Yeah, and that 1v1 situation, you're right about getting to the byline, mixing it up. When he comes on the inside, he's got a little turn of pace, but he also can go to the byline, and then the relationship with Johnson, Alistair Johnson, has been phenomenal this year.
Ferry doesn't have the same worry when Young cuts in field with Nicholas Kuhn. You know that he's going to try and get it on the left foot and get a shot away as often as possible. Maeda on the byline, left-hand side, fired across goal, deflected out towards the edge of the area. Can Celtic get a shot away? Engels trying it with the right foot, good block. Might have been Middleton who got himself in the way of it there from the Belgian midfielder, out for a throw in far side.
Getting a little check in the box.
VAR is having a word in the ear of Kevin Clancy at the moment.
I thought it was a really good block, you know, yeah. and they stop things for things that they're always trying to make it up, aren't they?
There was no great player reaction there, that's for sure. Nobody getting too excited about a penalty shout. Taylor to Trusty, and wide with Maeda, left-hand side. Lots of Celtic fans retaking their seats, and on the pitch, the Celtic players looking for a second goal here. Johnston to Yang, with Ferry in close attendance, done a really good job on him so far. Celtic work it to Engels, a little spin at the edge of the box, played out to Taylor, feeds it back in, and the shot flashes just wide of target in the end from Alistair Johnston.
Yeah, it was almost again overplaying. You know, there's times when you think, go on, hit it, and it's not, and they take an extra touch or an extra pass. Eventually, the shot does come in, but it was off target again.
How do you think Will Ferry felt at the kick-off when he found out Nicholas Kuhn wasn't playing?
It would be delighted. Well, Kuhn's arguably been the best player in Scotland.
Yeah, exactly.
This year.
You're not going to be distraught that he's not in the lineup, that's for sure.
But the thing is, as well, when being so left-footed, Kuhn, he cuts inside, and he's on Ferry's weaker right foot, so it's a nightmare for him. But he'll be quite happy now that Yang's there. And he's played him brilliantly, actually.
Yeah.
Yang's not been in the game.
Good player. Good player.
But just go back to Kuhn, the return he has, goals-wise and assists, is incredible this year. And you know, when you have a creative player like that, yes, you miss him when he's on the team, but he's such an asset to you.
Would you have thought that a year ago?
No chance. Honestly, it's been the biggest thing of 2024.
In your life, Packy, or just in football?
No, 2024, I said.
That's right.
The turnaround.
No, I meant your life in 2024, though,
No, just from a professional point of view.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I think that's credit to Brendan Rodgers. He's made him better. He's probably given him more game awareness, what he needs from him, a licence to go and play as well.
Maida in possession for Celtic, scurrying to the byline, hooks it back towards the penalty spot. The angle made it difficult for Dundee United, who now look to counter-attack. I'm sure they've had more passes than they had in the whole of the first half already. In the second, they look distinctly more lively.
Yeah. And that's also clever. If you can get balls into people, and they do almost get themselves between a Celtic player and the ball, and take your foul. Get you up the pitch a little bit, you know, and you have to be a little clever in those situations.
That's a United captain there, making really good experience from him there. Just comes on, it feels a little bump. It is from McCowan, and down he goes.
Down he goes. The one player we used to play against, Alan, with Dougie Arnott, with Motherwell, and he was small, but every time you touched him, he was down. He was down, and he got free kicks in really dangerous positions.
Doherty in possession for Dundee United, already having an impact in the team, wearing the captain's armband. Took it from Declan Gallagher when he replaced Sheffield at half-time, and short corner, Dundee United won themselves a corner kick.
51 minutes into the game, here's a chance. Because one thing about Gallagher and Graham and guys like that, they're big lads, they like to attack the ball.
Adegboyega as well. They're all in there for this first corner kick of the match for them.
They're doing the line 4 in a row on the penalty spot. Now 5 actually. Van der Sanders just joined them. They'll just split.
Can Dundee United do the unthinkable? In comes the corner kick, low in at the near post. Needed a better delivery.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about them all queuing up on the penalty spot. It didn't get near to those players in the middle.
That's a frustration for coaches and for managers. You might not get too many, but you've got to get it right. You've got to put the ball into the right area for the movement of players. Don't hit the first man.
Maybe United can do better from the long throw, and it comes from Ross Graham, bouncing around the 6-yard box before Johnston cleared. Ferry to angle it back in. Graham on the far side into the middle. Carter Vickers heads it behind, and it's going to be 2 corners in quick succession. Took them long enough to get one. Now they've got 2.
Well, can they learn from the last one?
Yeah, I think they've got
the point.
Well, the last one, Trapanovsky played it, and this time Middleton's went out to join him. It's a 2v1 as well, if they could take it. This is going to be Middleton's going to be outswinging, so United will change their routine. They'll come further back instead of being further in the box. They're starting around about 15-16 yards.
Glenn Middleton to deliver from the corner kick, out swinging, skimmed off a Celtic head, drops at the feet of Fotheringham. Angle shot is blocked by plenty of hooped shirts in the box. Fotheringham does really well to win it back, curls in another cross, and it's headed away by Taylor, and it's another corner kick.
Yeah, pressure's right on now. Really good start for the second half from Dundee United. And I think Doherty, the captain, coming on, has given him a bit of solidity in the middle of the park. He'll take the ball. We've already seen him winning a free kick, taking the ball in his own half. United have had more joy in this opening period than they had in that opening 45.
Dundee United are looking to seize on the fact that Celtic haven't done enough with their possession in the game so far. Middleton from the right side this time, curls in a corner kick into a very dangerous area. Again, it was Taylor who got his head to it. Fothering has it on the right side from open play. Middleton had the chance of the shot at goal. Well, United are convinced that took a nick off a Celtic player on its way behind. It's going to be a goal kick, though.
It was a rush of blood, actually. I thought Glenn Middleton, yes, yeah. He's gone for the shot when I think there's enough bodies in the box. Just put it back in to the danger area.
But he's adamant it took a deflection, and he's remonstrated to the referee, right up to the referee. And the referee has probably missed that. Probably has taken a deflection. Celtic tried to take the quick by kick.
Yeah, there was a look at it from VAR. I think Glenn Middleton there was screaming at the referee the way you do when you hit a shot about 10 yards off target and you're insisting it's taking a nick for a corner. But it was an opportunity there, and he did get overexcited. Instead of having a crack at goal that might have tested Kasper Schmeichel. Here comes Celtic as they look to resume normal service. Yang down the right side, combining with Johnston. There's Dundee United got more about them in the second half, a physical edge to them, winning the ball there, and now Trapanovsky gets forward for them down the left-hand side. Much better from Jim Goodwin's team.
It is. You can see that they're pushing further up the park. Savelj was decent in that opening period. At fault for the goal, certainly played his part, but now they've got their captain on. He's been out a while with injury. He's been slowly drip-fed back into the team.
Johnston's pass trying to find Ida. He was coming back from an offside position, says the assistant on the far side. Up goes his flag. Frustration for Ida, and maybe more concerns for Celtic here, and Dundee United are going to make a couple of changes as well to go with a much improved performance since the restart.
Yeah, I would think that they might put on Dalby up front if he's not.
I don't think he was one of those two by the looks of it, but
I'm surprised they don't, because now that they have more possession, and they're higher up the pitch, he's a threat inside the box.
I think it is Dalby.
Is it?
Stevenson and Dalby, I think.
Right, Lucas Stevenson certainly is getting ready. And well, it'll be interesting if the Premiership's leading marksman is going to join us with Dundee United. Well, they were in the game at half-time courtesy of scoreline, not in terms of performance, but now they're starting to mix it with Celtic. Maida pressured into losing the ball. Doherty pointing the direction for United to go here. Trapanovsky, middle of the pitch, curls a pass wide for Adegboyega. His cross ball turned out to be almost a shot at goal, as it just swerved away from the top corner and kept in far side by Middleton. Now Ferry gets a cross in, took a deflection all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel. Well, we might have a contest here.
Yeah, well, Alan, you did say at half-time, didn't you? You know, as long as they're 1-0, they're in this game. And if they can get higher up the pitch. But Celtic, the danger then is Celtic can hit them in those spaces that they're leaving.
Maida touches the ball back to Engels, 30 yards from goal. Square for Yang. His cross ball into the middle, fended away by Graham. Collected by Trapanovsky. Has to keep it. Looks to stretch his legs, but he can't get away from Carter Vickers, who just stamps on the ball and swats Trapanovsky aside.
Yeah, Yang looks a player that's really short of confidence.
Yeah,
his balling was poor there. I've got no doubt he's got really good ability, but he's just... Celtic really missed Nicholas Kuhn.
Johnston to Yang. Yang against Middleton, jinking his way to the byline, managed to get the cross in, but it's collected by Kai Fotheringham, who dwells on the ball, and it's nicked away from him by Maida. Now McCowan, Taylor far side, fires it in. It came off Maida, with the striker not knowing too much about it, and it ricochets behind for a goal kick. Here come those changes then for Dundee United. We are going to see Sam Dalby off the bench for the Tannadice team. Lucas Stevenson is coming on as well. Trapanovsky, one of the players, coming off.
You know, Dada's the other one.
So the two who initially lined up in central midfield for United, Odada and Chevelge, both gone from that area now, as Jim Goodwin reorganises his team, and they're certainly reinvigorated in this second half.
Well, he's having a little go now with Van der Sande still on and Dalby now on beside him.
Yeah.
One up, one off. Van der Sande will just drop that a little bit deeper.
Sam Dalby one better than Nicholas Kuhn in the Premiership scoring charts. 2 better than Kyogo. 10 goals in Dundee United's last 14 games. It's been a scoring spree for the on loan Wrexham striker, whose longer-term future is in a bit of doubt, but it does look as if he's going to be with United for the season. There was an option, I think, where Wrexham could recall him, but sounds like they've decided against it, and Dundee United will be happy about that. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0, still in front, the Premiership leaders, but Dundee United looking much more of a threat. First involvement for Stevenson, and it's worked wide for Adegboyega, who likes to get forward out of his right of a back three starting position. Good feet from him, and he rolls the ball through, and out comes Kasper Schmeichel to flop on it before it got anywhere near Sam Dalby. To Rugby Park we go in Craigs.
Yeah, Rob, still 0-0 here. The direction of the game is the exact same. Kilmarnock at the side trying to force the issue, but it was Motherwell who almost took a lead. I spoke in the first half about Tony Watt having a shot saved by Robin McCrory. The exact same in the second half. Good play down the left-hand side by Jack Vale. Tony Watt had the shot from about 8 yards. Robin McCrory kept it out, but still 0-0 here at Rugby Park. 2
changes for Dundee United, and now we're going to get a couple of changes from Celtic. Kyogo and Rio Hatate are about to join the fray as Celtic look to get job done here. And here's another Japanese player on the ball as it was clipped down the left side of the box, and Maeda reached out her right boot to try and control it, couldn't quite nail it, and it bounced through to Jack Walton as the only goal scorer in the game, threatened again.
Yeah, a good run and a decent pass, just slightly, just couldn't get it under that first touch control to get his shot away, and the ball just ran in towards the goalkeeper, and he was able to go low and come out and claim it. But that's been a while since Celtic had those runs in behind, you know, and that's been missing, I think, from the game today.
Young's going to be coming off, and Adam Ida, so they are the 2 players to give way as Celtic fans welcome Kyogo and Hatate onto the pitch as they look to build on their 1-0 advantage in the game. Not looking quite as much of a certainty for all 3 points as they did Celtic. Free kick on halfway, and Will Ferry swings the ball forward, headed away by Carter Vickers. Celtic on the break with Maeda. Good interception, but the ball breaks the way of Luke McCowan, and it's really good covering, defending, covering across to stop McCowan getting a shot away with Celtic on the counter.
Good pace from Ferry, wasn't it? You know, it looked as if you know, McCowan initially used good body strength to win the ball, and then he was played through, but just he didn't have the legs on Ferry getting in and making that decisive interception.
He's been magnificent,
hasn't he? Just
absolutely brilliant for Dundee United, Will Ferry.
He just put his body in the right place there, didn't he? He had the pace to get back, but he also made sure that he got his body in the way, and the only way McCowan was getting to the ball was by going through Ferry, and that got Dundee United out of any predicament they were in with Celtic breaking on them. Walton fires the ball forward. Declan Gallagher swings it up for Dalby to head on, and cleared by Taylor. Adegboyega on the half volley plays a nice ball down the right side. Van der Sande has it.
That was definitely made more of a game of it in the second half, Dundee United.
That was interesting though, that first ball up to Dalby up against Trusty, and he won the header, Dalby, and flicked it on, and that in itself was missing, I think, from Dundee United in the first half. Done better in the second half, there's no doubt about it, but Dalby is a threat, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a genuine target, isn't he, up top for them. And, well, we know he knows the way to goal. That's not in doubt.
Celtic are desperate to get a second goal, aren't they, just to kill this game off, because the longer it goes on, the frustration, a bit of edginess comes into it. They don't want to lose anything again against this Dundee United team.
Well, we said that, you know, the longer the game goes on, 1-0, Jim will start to commit more men forward. I think they've been really good in the second half, really good shape to them.
Atate looking to get involved off the bench for Celtic. The ball worked through towards Kyogo, just bounced off him, just adjusting to the pace of the game. Now Maida on the left-hand side. Atate in towards his fellow countryman Kyogo, didn't get the touch right again, and Will Ferry clears. Can't find a teammate this time. Celtic have it back. Johnston fires it forward. Maida in the box with a back heel. Kyogo's shot blocked. And now McGregor.
Yeah, great run again from Maida, wasn't it? You know, and he gets on the end of it this time, and good improvisation. The back heel into Kyogo's path. Just, it was a good block from the defender.
Good brave block by Graham.
Out on the right-hand side for Celtic, Luke McCowan. Into the middle it goes. Taylor is here, there and everywhere for Celtic as they look to get a hand of authority in this game again. Clipped into the box and headed away by Declan Gallagher. Collected by McCowan. Curling left foot cross into the box. Helped on its way by Fotheringham. It's not going to go out. Kept in by Maida, scorer of the only goal in the game. Taylor. Maida again back with Trusty, and a square pass to Carter Vickers. McCowan feeds it into McGregor. Callum McGregor trying to get it back, but good defending again by United. Ross Graham clearing. They need to continue to be disciplined defensively, continue to thwart Celtic if they can, and hope that a chance or two can pop up for them in attack as this game goes on. Atate's cross ball in, too close to the goalkeeper. Easy take for Jack Walton. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0.
Yeah, Celtic starting to get a bit more possession again in the second half. But United, you can see Van der Sanders up front as well. He's playing up there. They're committing men forward. Kai Fotheringham's getting further forward. And obviously Sam Dalby's on now. A different threat for that Celtic back four to contend with. We've already seen the threat that Dalby possesses in the air. Beating Trusty comfortably with that first ball has been played up to him. If United can start to get bodies round them, start to play it up to him, they might get some more joy.
Nearly 67 minutes played at Celtic Park. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0. Engels controls the ball in the centre circle, gets his pass away to Johnston, fired through for McCowan, holding off a couple of challenges, spinning around, taking his pass to Johnston. Alistair Johnston to the edge of the box. Kyogo looking for the chance to get a shot away. In comes a cross ball from Engels. It's spinning towards the goal line, goes behind for the corner, despite being hooked away by Ferry. It gone behind.
I don't want to tempt fate here, but United have defended them really well. Watch this.
The Celtic fans feeling frustrated at the moment at their lack of ability to make the most of that possession advantage. 84% possession first half. Engels plays in the corner kick. A flashing header is punched away at the near post by Walton. Celtic look to get the ball back in. Engels threads it in from McCowan. Lovely touch, good feet. Can't quite get the shot away, and Dundee United survive.
Yeah, it was a movement of Kyogo there, is it? You know, going to attack the space. And the ball's that outswinger, it bends into that sort of almost near post area with a bit of pace, and you've just got to try to direct it on target. He was just a little bit outside the front post, wasn't he, when he got his header, and allowed the goalkeeper to be in a better position to bat it away.
We're in the 69th minute. Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland. Double bill in the Premiership tonight. One goal here for Celtic. And goal is still at Rugby Park between Kilmarnock and Motherwell. Dundee Rangers tomorrow night as Doherty played a crossfield ball towards Gallagher, and it skimmed off the head of Kyogo. Back with Walton, and he targets Van der Sande, stumbling, falling. Trusty heads the ball away. First there, Gallagher. Doherty loses out. The ball through towards Maida. Really good defending from Ross Graham, coming across from his position on the left to sort out the problems there for United. Lovely layoff from Dalby for Van der Sande. Down goes Fotheringham off the ball.
Taylor caught him off the ball.
Middleton on the attack left side, tries the shot, and it's touched away, touched round the post by Schmeichel, almost taken by surprise there.
Yeah, it was power and pace in that shot. You know, he just let go, and he didn't probably realise where to, maybe just got his head down and smacked it, and Schmeichel just had to deflect it away for another corner. That's what, the fourth corner I think Dundee United has had in the second half.
Yeah, well done, Packy. That's what you want to see from Glenn Middleton, isn't it? Just taking things on quickly, being decisive, good hit on target. Now the corner kick for United. Middleton curls it in. Disappointingly for them, doesn't get it beyond the first man. Scrapping for possession down the pitch was Doherty.
But that just shows you, Rob, the difference between Dalby and Van der Sande. That layoff from Dalby on that build-up before it's out to Middleton.
Yeah, that was quality, wasn't it?
A beautiful little touch.
Yeah. On the ball for Celtic, Trusty to Taylor on the touchline. Celtic fans just going a little bit quiet at the moment. They felt pretty sure first half that Celtic were going to get the job done, and right now there's work to be done to get the 3 points they need to go 16 clear at the top of the Premiership.
Well, the work's done, but they would love to finish the game off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it's not finished off.
It's not finished off. That's the point.
And I think
that's the work that has to be done.
You've got to applaud Jim Goodwin's the way he set his team up. I think they've found it difficult. Celtic, United full-backs have defended narrow, which has been really difficult for Celtic. And in the second half, United are very much in this game.
Dalby touches the ball back to Adegboyega. Adegboyega shrugs off the challenge of Maida and drives forward and curls one into the area. It's beyond Van der Sande. He'd done so much good work there, Adegboyega. It could have been a better cross. In it comes this time from the left-hand side, and Celtic suddenly here are being stretched defensively. Questions are being asked of them that were not happening at all first half. Ross Graham with a cross ball into the box, and a header from Kai Fotheringham straight at Schmeichel.
I'll tell you, Adegboyega picked up a great position at the back post. I don't think Trusty seen him, because he was almost caught having to pick up maybe Dalby inside, and there was a big space just across, came in almost too low. If it was played all the way to the back post, I think it would have been a better option.
Yeah, if he overhits it, Adegboyega's in at the back stick.
Dundee United feeling they are banging the game here. Only a goal down. Celtic will look to widen that gap, but they're now carrying a threat, Jim Goodwin's team. He's tweaked things pretty cleverly. There's a lot of admiration for the job he's done this season, and in this game his plan is looking as if it has a chance of coming off. Celtic with other ideas, of course, and here they come again on the attack. Taylor in the middle of the pitch. Now McCowan switches it right side for Johnston, and Johnston back to Carter Vickers. A few groans from around us. The ball went back the way.
Yeah, it's possession with a purpose. Work the ball into an area, and when the opening comes, get it into the box.
McCowan out on the right hand side, turns it back for Johnston. Johnston squares it for Hatate. McCowan again, rolled in to the feet of Engels. The layoff doesn't come off, and Dundee United have it with Fotheringham. His pass behind Adegboyega. He hooks it downfield, watched all the way by Trusty, cushioning a header to Taylor. Carter Vickers down the middle for Hatate. It just slipped under his boot. Good pressure though from Dundee United. Here goes Middleton scurrying forward, and he rolls it for Dalby, left side of the box. watched closely by Austin Trusty. Keeping it well, Dalby. United have it with Stevenson, and on halfway, Ross Graham into the feet of Middleton. Using the ball nicely, Dundee United. Their confidence has soared.
They certainly had more possession in the second half. You know, I think bringing Docherty on has been a masterstroke, I really do.
Yeah.
Because he just settles everyone down. He always wants the ball. When he takes it, he'll win a free kick. And he does the brilliant thing, he actually passes to his own men.
Yeah, that's...
keeps the ball for them really well.
Yeah, and he's just won his team a free kick. Clumsy challenge into the back of him by Maida.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they've pushed everybody forward, Dundee United, apart from the free taker. They've got to be careful in case Celtic spring out from this on the counter-attack. Made it almost in a 1v1 situation.
75 minutes, Ferry with the free kick. Towering header away by Carter Vickers. But United have the ball back. They're starting to live up to their billing in the second half. United, having done so well this season. Adegboyega with a header down, looking for Fotheringham. Taylor has it. Now McGregor looks to tidy things up. Back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel's clearance finding Luke McCowan, who took it in, tried to spin away, but then he was guilty of a late challenge. Another Dundee United free kick out on the left-hand side. Celtic about to make another change.
Again, Will Ferry reads it. He knows McCowan's going to come in on his left foot, and he just stands across and wins the free kick. Chance again for United to load that box.
Yeah, and he's going to make the call. It's Palma coming on for McCowan.
Yeah, Luis Palma introduced at this stage.
Almeida's going to go over on the left. Palma, is he going to go over on the left? Is there Palma going over there? It's hard to know at this point in time. We'll wait to see how it develops.
Yeah. Dundee United with a free kick, 15 yards inside the Celtic half. They trail by a goal to nil. Will Ferry swings it in from the set piece. Declan Gallagher won the header. Cleared only as far as Docherty. Behind him is Middleton. Wide is Ferry. All the way back from Will Ferry to Jack Walton.
Watch how quick the Celtic back four get up.
Jack Walton with a big diagonal down the field for Gallagher's header. Cleared by Carter Vickers. Palma looking to get there. Stevenson got there first. And just an edgy feel at the moment about the Celtic supporters.
Yeah, they weren't happy there with Palma just on the pitch. He did compete a wee bit harder for that ball.
Back with Walton again to launch it downfield. Trusty's header, flicked on by Hatate. Gallagher gets it on the deck, given away by Docherty. His first mistake in the match, straight at Palma. Now Engels and Taylor. And Carter Vickers in the centre circle with Johnston just alongside him. Out on the right now is Maida. Dundee United are going to make another change in a moment. Taylor for Celtic. Engels drifting out to the right-hand side. Central with Taylor again, shuttling the ball around Celtic. Miller Thompson, I think, is going to be coming on for United. Palma coming in off the left side, off the bench for Celtic, heading to the byline. Well, an inauspicious start to his little cameo as a Celtic sub here. The Celtic fans weren't happy with his challenge for the ball earlier. Then he's overrun it behind for a goal kick. Off comes Van der Sande for United, and it's 20-year-old Miller Thompson who is going to replace him.
Definitely better in the second half. Van der Sande with a help from Dalby when he comes on. He looked better with someone up with him. In that first half he was isolated, he found it very difficult, as a lot of Dundee United players did. But the second half, what a transformation.
A lot to admire about how Dundee United have evolved into this game, isn't it, Packy?
Yeah, I agree. Just probably maybe you would expect them to get more tired, but actually their energy level was good, and the substitutions have definitely helped.
Another great flick on by Dalby, helped on by Fotheringham as well. Dundee United with plenty of attacking players on the pitch now. their aim is fairly clear in the last 12 minutes or so. There's only one goal in the game. Dyson Maida, as a foul is given against Fotheringham, maybe a little bit harsh. And Celtic are going to bring on Paulo Bernardo. And we'll find out in a sec who is coming off for them. A little bit of agitation in the ground, Alan, at the moment among the Celtic fans, because this job is far from done.
No, it's not. You know, you would have thought in that first opening period as it's coming off Engels. And that opening period, you know, all that possession. We've got to say Walton's not been really troubled, Rob.
No.
It's not as if he'll have more difficult days at Celtic Park over his career. But I think the way Dundee United have conducted themselves, their shape, the way they've went about their business, they've used their substitutions the right way, and totally justified Jim making 5 changes, because he's asked his team to hang in that opening period, which they've done. We're now into the last, 10 minutes or so, and they're only 1-0 down. They're very, very much in this game.
Schmeichel with the free kick for Celtic, headed away by Ross Graham, kept in by Taylor. Paulo Bernardo's pass to Hatate out on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that kind of showed me also. Hatate there, he had a chance to open out and go forward, but he didn't do it. He can almost come back in himself again. I know he keeps possession, but I think, you know, the crowd get a bit frustrated with that also.
Foul for Dundee United, trip on the far side, and I think just in the last couple of minutes there's a sign that the edginess among the fans might be about to transfer onto the pitch. Just 1 or 2 little nervy touches from Celtic.
Well, they're trying to play the ball out, as Celtic do, but United pounce on it there, and it's Johnson. It is a free kick. Don't care what the Celtic fans think of that, but it's a free kick. He's taken Middleton out. He just wasn't at the ball. He hits Middleton, and it's a foul to Dundee United. 35-40 yards out on the left-hand side. United again throwing men forward. They've played really well in the second half, Dundee United.
It's incredible how a football match can change so dramatically. Here's the Dundee United free kick. Will Ferry plays it into a good area, headed away, edge of the box. Thompson has it, the young sub. Steered back into the middle of the pitch. Middleton was there. Fotheringham tries to angle it out towards the left-hand side, and it ends up going out of a Celtic head for a Dundee United throw midway inside the Celtic half. We're inside the 82nd minute here. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0. And in comes the long throw for United, helped on by Ross Graham. What an opportunity in front of goal. It suddenly was just a fraction away from Sam Dalby. He reached out a boot to try and get a toe to it. It ran away from him, and to safety for Celtic. That was close.
Very close, and if you ever want the ball to fall to someone at the moment, it's Sam Dalby. He's unlucky. You look, 6 inches away from knocking it into the back of the net.
Great bit of ball winning again from Will Ferry on the far side. 1-0 Celtic. Let's get the latest from Rugby Park, Crags.
Yeah, it's still 0-0 here, Rob, but for a save, another wonderful save by Aston Oxborough in the Motherwell goal. Murray Watkins turned around about the penalty spot, looked like he was going to find it back of the net. Oxborough closed the gap, kept it out. Both sides have made subs, positive subs. I'm convinced there'll be a goal somewhere, but unfortunately with 9 minutes to go, it's still 0-0.
At the moment, Motherwell heading towards what would be a priceless point if they can get that at Rugby Park tonight. Here, Celtic hanging on to their 1-0 advantage. Dyson Maida with the only goal of the game. Celtic would love to get another one right now and make things safe.
Yeah, that second goal is crucial. You know, obviously for Celtic, for Dundee United, as long as it stays this way, they've always got a chance to sneak something.
Palmer plays one in from the left-hand side with the outside of the right boot, all the way to Maida, back into the middle, the step over. And Rio Hatate fires in Celtic's second goal, and there is a huge sigh of relief inside Celtic Park, because Dundee United have been looking distinctly dangerous. That should be the goal that kills them off and sends Celtic 16 points in front at the top of the Premiership.
Yeah, listen, I just mentioned it seconds before that second goal was crucial. The ball has played in from Palmer with the outside of his foot into the box, and eventually it comes to Maeda, and it was, I think it was Bernardo might have let it run through him into the path of Hatate, and he was in a great position to go and finish high up into the net. Yeah, it was Bernardo.
It's a great little step over, wasn't it?
Oh, it's lovely, really good. It's a brilliant ball in from Palmer outside of the right foot as well to start it. Maeda then rolls it back. There's a little dummy from Bernardo right into the path of Hatate, and he puts it into the back of the net with a plum. Really good finish. That'll be it now. Game's over, but it's been difficult for Celtic. They've found it difficult to get that second goal. The quicker they get it, the easier the game becomes for them.
That's right.
But 84 minutes on the clock before they get that second goal. United can be very happy with the way they've played. I think they've played very well, particularly in the second half. But Celtic's class has shone through again.
Yeah, that was a moment of quality, wasn't it, for the second Celtic goal from the ball in from Palmer with the outside of the boot. Maeda kept it alive, rolled it in, the step over from Paulo Bernardo, and the unerring finish from Hatate with the inside of his left foot. 2-0 Celtic, and that should be that, although Dundee United will keep at it. They've got plenty of attacking players on the pitch. If they could get a goal now, they could make things interesting, but you do get the feeling that a second Celtic goal will be enough to have them winning again. The goal scorer doing some defending at the moment, screening the ball, holding off Stevenson. It's going to go out in the end for a throw-in on the far side. But we've now played 85 minutes, and it's Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. A Japanese double, Maeda and Hatate with the goals. But a lot of credit to Dundee United in the way they played second half. They were spectators first half, but they've been very much more involved since the interval. In comes a long throw from Ferry. Celtic get it away. Ross Graham tries to direct it back out towards Ferry on the byline, looking to get a ball in the box, but I think it had gone behind for a goal kick, and it's all, by the looks of it, going to fizzle out for Dundee United.
Yeah, listen, two contrasting halves for them. You know, first half they stayed in the game to a point, had no possession whatsoever. Second half, I think what they've had about 5-6 corners, free kicks, getting high up the pitch. The substitutions that Jim made allowed them to be more offensive, and also allowed them to get into the game a little bit better. But that second goal was always the one that Celtic needed. They got it eventually, and the game now is probably over as far as it goes. But
I think what this tells you tonight, though, is that Dundee United are not in third place in the Premiership by accident.
No, not at all. Come the end of the season, Rob, you are where you are. The best team wins it, the worst team goes down, and you all filter in between. But you get what you deserve, and I'll tell you what, this United team, they're a good side, very good side. Didn't show it in the first half, really, but they did with their defensive structure. But the second half, you can see they can play, they're all comfortable on the ball. Jim's got them well drilled, they work hard, they've got a star in Ferry for me, Dalby obviously with the goals. No, but United, Jim's not going to say this, but they've played well tonight, and they're unlucky. Have they deserved to get something out of it? No, is the answer, but they've certainly made a fist of it in the second half.
Yeah, they've recruited well, haven't they? They've really brought in some good players. And there's a bit of depth about it in terms of the changes he's been able to make tonight as well. Back it goes from Trusty to Schmeichel. Celtic just look to manage the game from here, but the ball flies back into the box towards Dalby, laid off by Stevenson, then Doherty, then Middleton. There's an offside flag up as the shot goes straight into the arms of Schmeichel.
Yeah, I think it was Dalby that might have been offside, but again, that late flag, the game goes on, they're waiting on VAR, and eventually it goes up. But
you're not having it, Packy, are you?
No, I don't like it. I think if you're, I don't mind the tight calls, but see if you're off by 2 or 3 yards and the assistant can see it, I think he should put his flag up, and then VAR can still intervene if he's wrong.
Really good play again by Ross Doherty, right at the heart of it for Dundee United. He's been terrific since coming on at half-time.
He has been, yeah. It gives them a platform to go and play, allows the full-backs to get forward, them knowing that he'll sit and protect for them. Very comfortable on the ball, takes it in tight areas. He must have won 4 or 5 free kicks. He's back to go.
88 minutes, 2-0 Celtic, 0-0 Kilmarnock and Motherwell. As United get the ball into the box almost creating an opportunity late on to get one back. But now on the counter, here comes Celtic with Maida down the right-hand side. Wheels around, decides just to keep the ball. Back it goes to Johnston. Maida again, but it's well won by Adegboyega on the left-hand side, plays it in for Dalby, with his back to goal, gets a great shot away, and Schmeichel makes a brilliant save, but it wouldn't have counted because the flag had gone up.
I'll tell you what though, it was really good play. He was on his own, held it up and then created an opportunity out of nothing for himself. Really, really good play. But Celtic giving the ball away in these last couple of moments. And again, Kasper Schmeichel, he's had nothing to do, but he doesn't want to go off a pitch again, losing a goal.
Can anyone tell me what Adegboyega was doing surging down the left wing?
Trying to put pressure on Daizen Maeda. Maeda for once miscontrols it, and it's a really good piece of play by Dalby. But I think that's United in the second half. They've been very much on the front foot, going forward, very much in the game.
He's playing on the right side of defence. What he was doing on the left side of attack, goodness only knows, but he was hugely effective. Here comes Celtic again with Palma, who helped create the second goal. He cuts in, tries the right foot shot, blocked. Still at his feet, Palma rolls it back out for Hatate, works it onto the left foot and then blazes a shot over the top.
Palma's all right
4
footed.
minutes being added to the 90.
Yeah, he's all right footed. He runs at Adegboyega there, and he does so well, the defender. He just stays on his right foot, and he knows that he can't go down the outside of him, and he gets his block in. You know, at least drop a shoulder, do something. But that space is there, and he can go to the byline. I've seen him do it, and I've seen him get crosses in from that position. But it's I don't know whether it's confidence or
it's
what.
Maybe a lot, because at the moment Brendan's preferred two there, Maeda and Kuhn. He's maybe not getting enough game time to get a bit of rhythm going. There's no doubt he's got ability. You know, they paid a lot of money for him. He's just maybe short of confidence just now.
We're inside stoppage time at the end of the match. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 0 at Rugby Park. That one in its closing stages as well. United have a long throw possibility here, and it comes from Declan Gallagher. Flicked on. Stevenson there to pop it back into the box. Alistair Johnston's header away. Celtic happy just to navigate their way towards the full-time whistle, and an extension to their lead at the top of the table. Fotheringham, right side of the attack for United. Back he goes, Palma tries to get involved. Fotheringham still gets the cross in. Trusty's header away, and the clearance completed by Hatate, who just hammers it down into the Dundee United half. Ross Graham steering it back to Jack Walton. Walton launching it up, no challenge on Taylor as he heads the ball away for Celtic, out for a throw-in, and that's us nearly at 2 minutes of the 4 added. Cushion header from Hatate to Palma, tries to wriggle his way down the touchline. Sliding in was Docherty. Palma tries to pick out Kyogo with his pass. It's in the middle of the pitch with McGregor. Now Paulo Bernardo, edge of the area, great hit, saved by Walton, and touched behind by Adegboyega.
Yeah, it's a good save. Again, he palms it out into an area, and only for his defender was there to clear. Just tip it around the post.
Yeah,
it's a good. Listen, it's a good save, but try to be a little bit more effective in your save. That's what I would say.
Ross Docherty went down. Hopefully he's all right. Slowly got to his feet, limping away. He can ill afford him picking up an injury.
Celtic with a late corner kick. They lead by 2-0, and this match is almost over. We've added nearly 3 minutes to the 90. In from Paulo Bernardo, and United maybe unconvincingly got it clear. And we're into the 4th and final minute of time added on. Still a lot to like about Dundee United's attitude here, even though the game is gone. Keen to get on with it. Ferry in a hurry to take a throw-in. Aims at Dalby, his knockdown. Mopped up by Bernardo. And now Johnston sprinting up to halfway. And there'll be a big roar around the ground in a matter of seconds as Celtic move further clear at the top of Scottish football's top flight.
It's incredible, 16 ahead.
With only 17 games to go.
Yeah.
Forward goes Carter Vickers. Celtic's domestic dominance is in no doubt. Paulo Bernardo with a sweeping pass out to Luis Palma. Disguised one for Hatate, who stands it up, but it goes beyond the back post. Collected by Johnston. Back to Paulo Bernardo, edge of the area. Now McGregor. Is there a cherry to go on top of the icing on the cake? Very nearly. Flying to his left was Jack Walton to touch that one away.
That was a good save. Obviously, Palma getting himself into that position and bending it around the goalkeeper.
That's full time at Celtic Park. And the champions in waiting, and they will be champions for the 13th time in 14 seasons. Widen the gap at the top of the table. 16 points clear now. 17 games to go. Having scored in the first half through Daisen Maeda on the back of 84% possession of the ball. Could have done a lot more with it in that first half. Celtic fans worried for a fair chunk of the second half that they might pay for that inability to turn possession into more goal-scoring chances, because Dundee United were transformed after the interval. Jim Goodwin made some changes, made his side look a lot more menacing, although the way they played in the first half, maybe you could argue that wasn't too difficult, but they were very much in the game. Celtic needed to kill it off, and that they did, introducing Kyogo and Hatate off the bench. And it was Rio Hatate, after Paulo Bernardo's step over, who stroked in the second goal of the game. Dundee United take a massive plaudits for what they put into this, really competitive, justifying their position as best of the rest at the moment outside Celtic and Rangers. But it's Brendan Rodgers' team who record another significant victory to move themselves 16 points clear at the top of the Premiership. Final score here: Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
Football.